Opponent sends out an unshielded dub wall into Gallade. Gallade farms up, goes straight for the close combat. It's going to be high dub wall by dub wall. If you're wondering why the opponent did that, they've got Wallface in the back. Wallface might think it's thick, but you, sir, certainly are not thick enough. It's going to be high Bastiodon by Bastiodon. Welcome back to the channel. My god, is today an exciting day for anyone that enjoys Pokemon Go PvP. Next season's move update has just dropped. 96 Pokemon are getting new moves, which is absolutely incredible. Pokemon like Noctowl and Lantern are also getting nerfed. Hallelujah, because my god, am I bored of seeing that basic bitch meta. If you're wondering why I'm not making a full video on that, because about 200 content creators have already made them, I'm just going to stick into my lane and do what I do best in my humble opinion and stick to shoutcasts and battles with some trash talk and commentary. However, don't worry, next season we will be showcasing as many of them new Mil as possible. However, today we're going to be showcasing some battles by my friend, fellow content creator Ripley, who is using Shadow Gallade, and he goes on an absolute tear up. He's linked in the title. Go give him a follow. Without any further ado, let's get into the commentary. And in game one, we got Kanto and Ninetales into Aurorus. Ripley farms up, full sends the overheat, near nuking this Aurorus into oblivion. The opponent running Frost Breath, probably not the correct player if I'm being brutally honest. You want to run Powder Snow. Ripley then sniped with a confusion from Gallade. The opponent answers Gallade safe switch with Noctowl. Ripley farms up, full sends the close combat on the CMP tie. Noctowl invest the protect shield. Ripley just gonna allow Gallade to go down. We now find ourselves in the 1-to-1 shield. Ripley sends out his Haxarous, which is currently running Dragon Tail. Ripley did tell me at some stage he is going to switch to counter, and as I edit on my phone, I'm going to be honest, my editing is absolutely dreadful and it's still going to say Dragon Tail. However, it will be running counter at some stage. Ripley takes care of Noctowl with the break-in swipe. The opponent sends out Dubwall, which is their final Pokemon. We're going to permanently debuff them with a break-in swipe. We also force the final shield on the CMP tie. Ripley going to match shield, shield up the body slam, knowing he can farm up, throw the next break-in swipe again on the CMP tie. This one is going to land, and this Dubwall is now energy dry. The opponent going to take us out with a body slam, and then K9 is easily going to be able to clean up. Body slam does secure the knockout. In comes Ninetales, and we're going to throw 2 fire spins and take that game. In the next battle, we see K9 into a purified Golbat. The opponent goes straight for the Poison Fang. Of course, most Poison Fang users love to spam that Fang as soon as they get in. This opponent does exactly that. Ripley now over farms and he's full going for the overheat. Does the opponent respect the damage? Boom, Mr. Opponent. Ripley once again happy with shield advantage. The opponent fires off Poison Fang. Number 2. K9 survives on a sliver of HP and we send out Gallade. Gallade looks for the confusion snipe. Unfortunately, the bat makes one more Fang for the road. The confusion does register and down goes Golbat. Gallade is debuffed, but my god, does this thing hit like a truck. The opponent send out Metachan and we're going for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade goes unshielded. Gallade looking to make Leaf Blade number 2, but the opponent just outpaces us. Ice Punch does return Gallade to our Pokeball. Ripley will have to come into Haxarous as K9 is on minimal HP. However, it could be used as a third shield at some stage. Ripley comes in, gets the Dragon Tail farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Trevenant. We throw 1 Dragon Tail and the break-in swipe for optimal fast move time, and the opponent reluctant to shield, knowing it was only a break-in swipe. However, Ripley says, you save that shield for next season, trainer. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see K9 into Noctowl. Ripley, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, buddy, when you're battling. You're getting notifications left, right and centre, and it's quite distracting for both me and probably people watching. However, Ripley, undeterred, full sends the overheat. Noctowl was not ready for that huge damage. We then outpace to Weatherball. Weatherball will be debuffed, but will be securing the knockout. K9 does win lead. The opponent sends out Azam Bombaril. Shout out Shrady. Ripley banks a Weatherball, then sends out Gallade. Gallade instantly puts up a shield. The opponent sends the Play Rough. The opponent then continues to stay in. Gallade farms up, fires off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade from Gallade's going to hit like a truck. Azumarill returns the shield. The opponent then throw instantly, giving us a whole free confusion. Ripley shields up yet another Play Rough. Gallade now over farms, fires off Leaf Blade. Number 2, is the opponent going to invest that final protect shield? Yes, they are, but trainer, you sir are about to get outpaced. Gallade is an Azumarill counter confirmed. Get fucking wrecked. The opponent's final Pokemon is Primeape, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. It's like we're in season 3 or 4. We see K9 into Hypno. Great to see Hypno return. It was so dominant in the early seasons. The opponent farms up some energy, Look to catch the overheat onto Lantern. Ripley says, not today, trainer. He answers Lantern safe switch with Haxarous, and Haxarous is an absolute wall to this silly electric fish. However, this silly electric fish is about to be not so dominant, as Spark is getting a small nerf. And to be honest, my god, does it need a nerf, as Haxarous, despite resisting all moves, is left with a sliver of HP from the mid-game. The opponent send back out Hypno. Ripley does throw immediately, and that is the correct play, as we definitely would not be surviving a confusion on that low health. Ripley then sends back out K9. We full send the overheat Hypno, invest that protect shield. The opponent now send out Golbat, and Ripley says, fuck it, I'll YOLO overheat number 2, and despite it being debuffed, it's still near nukes Golbat. We now send out Gallade. We snipe with the confusions. Back out comes Hypno. However, the opponent really has no win con. We shield up the Thunder Punch. Ripley now over farms. Getting towards the back-to-back Leaf Blades. The first Leaf Blade will be forcing the final shield, and the second Leaf Blade will be all she wrote. However, Ripley has other intentions. He's going to go for the BM close combat and show Hypno who's the most dominant confusion user in the Great League. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, Ninetales into Hitmontop. Let's go. I love Hitmontop personally. However, is it any good? Not really, I'll be brutally honest. However, that is another Pokemon that is getting a cheaper bait move. So if you want to see Hitmontop, the Shadow variant in the Ultra League, drop me a sub and I'll be that idiot that is going to put it to work. I feel like with all this news of move updates, I'm getting quite distracted. So getting back into the commentary, Ripley safe switched into Haxarous. He forces both protect shields off Hitmontop. Hitmontop does win lead. However, it's straight in and straight out when it sees Gallade. Gallade sniped with a confusion. The opponent then sent out Dubwall, and Dubwall's about to be a tasty little snack. Close combat returns Dubwall to its Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is Bastiodon, aka Wallface, and Wallface is about to get fucking wrecked. GG's and thanks for playing. Shout out Ripley for giving us that beautiful moment. Wallface getting wrecked. Let's go. In the next battle, we see the battle of the Ninetales. K9 far favourable against his Alolan cousin to the opponent's safe switches into Dubwall. This is where Ripley has changed the fast move. We're now running counter, and that means we are very dominant against Dubwall. Ripley shielded up the first body slam, then through the breaking swipe, meaning this body slam is going to do less damage. Haxarous now looks for the counter farm down, and we get it. The opponent now send out Greninja, and Greninja is going to be met with a breaking swipe. Breaking swipe forces the final protect shield. The opponent then gets the full water shriek and farm down. We send in Gallade. The confusions are resisted, but both charge moves will be one-shotting the squishy Greninja. We shield up the Night Slash. Ripley looks to fire off the Leaf Blade, but the opponent smartly switch out, catching it on the Alolan Ninetales. We pivot back out into the Cantonian variant. Ninetales is going to be able to tank absolutely anything, commit to the full Fire Spin farm down. Greninja does resist the overheat, but you're about to find out it doesn't resist all that much because it's got fucking no defense that the overheat. Near one shots and one more Fire Spin is enough to take that game. In the next battle, a very dominant lead. The opponent interestingly staying in, and the Fire Spins melting this little Togedemaru. The opponent full sends the Wild Charge, and Ninetales says, is that all you've got? The opponent then safe switch into Greninja, and we answer with Haxarous. Haxarous also a glass cannon, and my god, that Night Slash did a lot of damage. Ripley now farms up, fires off the breaking swipe. Breaking swipe forces a protect shield. The opponent looking to make a play at switch, and Ripley says, you can have it, I'm not interested. Night Slash does secure the knockout. Back out comes Ninetales. We go straight for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does secure the knockout. The opponent send back out Togedemaru. Are you serious, trainer? We've got the second Weather Ball locked and loaded. The opponent invests their final protection. They look to go for the full Thundershock farm down. They do get the farm down, however, at a cost of all their HP. We come into Gallade. We snipe with a confusion. The opponent's final Pokemon is Toxicroak, and 3 confusions deletes them. Wow. Moving on to the next one. Big yikes. Altaria going to beat the entirety of our team. We safe switch into Haxarous. The Dragon Breath's tearing us apart. We fire off the breaking swipe. Of course, Altaria shields. The opponent then going to be able to Dragon Breath us all the way down. How the hell is Ripley going to win this game? I have no idea. We don't shield up the Sky Attack. Sky Attack doesn't do too much damage. However, our Fire Spins are resisted. Ripley looking to YOLO the overheat. However, Altaria outpaced us the Sky Attack. Number 2, Ninetales does survive. Ripley gonna YOLO the resisted overheat. Please tell me this does a lot of damage. Sadly, it does not. It's now all down to Gallade. Gallade comes in, gets the snipe. The opponent now send out a Zoom rule. Okay, this could be playable. Ripley looking to farm up as much energy as possible. We see his first Protect Shield deployed on the Ice Beam. Ripley now at 100 energy. Great fast move timing by Ripley as well there. We threw 2 Confusions and the Leaf Blade for optimal fast move timing. The opponent invests their final shield. Ripley fires off the next Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade does secure the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Poliwrath. Let's fucking go, Gallade. Leaf Blade near one shots and we snipe with a Fire Spin and somehow managed to win that game. Very nicely done. In the next battle, we see yet another core breaker. Ripley safe switches into Haxarous. He farms up, fires the Breaking Swipe on the CMP tie to a potential Shadow Ball Breaking Swipe. Force a protection. We're going to see Ripley match shields. The opponent masturbate with a Surf. Mr. Opponent, have some mercy. Every time you masturbate, a poor defenseless cat dies. And I love cats, so stop being such a killer. The opponent lets the second Breaking Swipe go through. Ripley calls the bait, and the opponent this time NUKES with a Shadow Ball. Ripley now sends in Gallade. Hexes are super effective. However, Ripley can shield once and farm down. He's not interested in shielding up the Surf. Gallade gets the Confusion farm down. We're already very low on HP. The opponent send out Shift Tree. We go straight for the close combat. Close combat forces the final protection. We pivot back out into Ninetales and the opponent answers with Cradilly. Ripley's notifications going absolutely bananas. They're taking up almost a third of his screen. How the hell do you play like this? I have to play on Do Not Disturb because that would drive me mad. However, Ripley underturn. Full sends the overheat on the CMP tie. Ripley can allow this rock slide to take him out. Confusion down and close combat Shift Tree. However, the opponent looks to go for a cheeky undercharge. However, the undercharge doesn't work. And Ninetales is the one going to be nuking Shift Tree back to their Pokeball. Very nicely done. But Ripley, please, please, I beg of you, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. In the next battle, we see Ninetales into Dubwall. We see the immediate pivot into Haxarous. The opponent farm up some energy and then send out a Azumarill. And this is such a dreadful matchup for Haxarous. We fire off the Breaking Swipe. That does pretty much nothing to Azumarill. I think they actually gained HP. If I'm being brutally honest, Ripley gonna fire off Breaking Swipe number 2 and Azumarill still very much in the green. We see yet more notifications. Ripley, you could probably answer some of their messages. While Haxarous is stuck against the Azumarill because you definitely wouldn't be winning that matchup. The double debuffed Ice Beam secures the knockout. Ripley sends out Gallade. We then look to catch an Ice Beam onto Ninetales. No such luck. Does the opponent have the Hydro Pump? They do not. They send the Ice Beam, which does absolutely nothing. Then pivot out into Dubwall. Dubwall fires off the Body Slam. Ninetales being a very good damage sponge. Throughout this video, Ninetales farms up, fires off the overheat, secures the knockout. The opponent likely to return with a Azumarill, and of course there it is. Ripley farms up, fires off the overheat, will be securing the knockout from this range. The opponent invests their final protection. We pivot back out into our 2-shielded Gallade. Ripley instantly invests his first protection on the Poliwrath. The opponent then pivot out into knocked out. Flyers are supposed to counter fighters. Well knocked out, you sir aren't thick enough. The close combat vanquishes them back to their Pokeball and Ripley takes a very nice dub in the final battle. Huge shout out to Ripley for the incredible battle submission. Go check him out, he's linked in the title. Speaking of battle submission, if you'd like to be featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. However, please put your phone on Do Not Disturb and don't have a million notifications popping off because it's very annoying. However, that being said, if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. We've touched on it already, but next season looks absolutely incredible and I'll be bringing you so many of them newly buffed Pokemon. This is the home of Shadow Pokemon, so any Shadow Pokemon that has got a move update, I will be bringing for you. So if you're interested in that content, stick around. As always, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.